Hey, hey, we are live. It's Cami here, coming to you. We're right at 1 o'clock, so we're going to get started in just a minute. And Heather just popped in to join us. Hey, Heather.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So let us know in the chat. I would love to know where you're tuning in from today, and most importantly, if you can see us and hear us. So pop that in the chat. And Heather, what's the weather like where you are today? It's beautiful and sunny for me in New York.
All right, I'm just muting the other window. Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's nice out. It's sunny, and it makes me want to do some gardening, but there's always work to be done.
Totally. All right, guys, in the chat. Oh, we've got Laurie here from Fairport. Welcome, Laurie, in Connecticut, just around the corner from me. We've got Kira from Boston who can see and hear us. Yay! Seeing and hearing is great. We love it when tech works, right?
Exactly.
All right, so Fairport, Boston. Where else do we have? So I'm in New York personally. I'm in Manhattan, although I'm English originally. We've got Vivian from San Francisco, and she can see and hear us.
Yay.
Brilliant. Oh, that makes me so happy. All right, guys, keep popping in the chat where you're from. And if you want to let us know what kind of photography business you run, that would be awesome too. So keep chatting, and we are going to get started with the presentation in just a minute here. We'll give it a second for people to pop on. Heather, tell us a little bit about your photography business for people here who aren't as familiar with you.
Yeah, so for those of you watching who haven't met me, my name's Heather McKay, and I have been a wedding photographer for, I think this is my 17th season. So in that, and you can imagine in that time I've had quite a few websites, which is why I love talking to Kimmy. So yeah, I've just been doing this for a really long time, and I'm also a pricing and business mentor for other creatives.
Awesome. I'm seeing more people pop into the chat. We have Atlanta, we have Panama. So welcome everybody. Welcome Laurie and Kira and Vivian and Needy. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Monica and everyone else who's here. I'm going to share my screen now so we can jump into slides and you'll hear a little bit more from Heather in just a sec. Okay, so let's get these screens up. Cool. Can you guys let me know, Heather, I can't see the chat anymore, but maybe you can let me know if you guys can see my slides right now.
Yes, I can see them.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Heather, do you want to kick things off for us?
Yeah, so I'm just really excited to have you, talking to my audience about websites, because that's not what I do for my coaching clients. I work on more of the business side and pricing. So yeah, thank you so much for, having this webinar for my audience. I'm very excited. So yeah, like I said a second ago, my name's Heather McKay. For those watching that don't know me yet, I'm a wedding photographer full-time. I've been full-time since '07, and this is my 17th season doing weddings, which is like crazy. I started with the film era, and I built my business, like most people, slowly, too slowly, but I did build it to a six-figure wedding photography business, fully self-employed, with no other job or anything. So yeah, and my website is obviously a huge part of that, and that's a lot of what I coach on, is just how to get people to buy from you before they even call you, basically. So on that note, I met Cami online, and I love hearing how simple it can be, and it helped me rearrange my website. So yeah, Cami, you want to take it away and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, Heather. Thank you so much for bringing me in to chat to your amazing peeps. And I love what you said about having a website that does the selling for you, because I think that when you set things up right, that's really what's possible. So to everybody here who I don't know yet, I want to say hi. I'm Cami, and I help real deal entrepreneurs like you really close the gap between who you are and the amazing work you do and what you look like online, which isn't always as awesome, right? And so through their websites, my clients, particularly my photographer clients, have seen amazing results. They've done things like book 30 new clients, boost their email opt-ins by 43%. And one of my photographer clients even booked a speaking gig with TEDx this year. So he gave a talk on stage in front of hundreds of people, which was so, so cool. And when I'm not obsessing about websites and geeking out, I'm kind of obsessed with Game of Thrones. Just finished the finale and I'm still like slightly shell-shocked. So if we've got any Game of Thrones fans here, pop in the chat and let me know, because we can totally talk about that afterwards. All right, guys. So a few housekeeping notes before we get into content. If you want to connect with us after the workshop, we'd love to hear from you. And you can DM us on Instagram. I'm at Cami Fari and Heather's at McKay's Photo. Or you can use the hashtag SimpleSiteBlueprint to share about the workshop, share what you've learned. I am in the DMs all the time, so send me a note and I'd love to hear from you. Now, you've seen this slide probably a million times, but it's worth saying again. So before we get started, grab a pen and a notebook, because you're going to want them as we go through the content today. And also feel free to take screenshots. So it's just Command-Shift-4 on a Mac to screenshot the slides, and that way you can remember things quickly and easily. And then if you're like me, you're probably way too addicted to Instagram and you probably have a million browser tabs open. And I'd like you to close those out just for the next 60 minutes. This is really your time. You've committed to showing up live, and Heather and I want to give you the best of our content, and in return, give yourself the gift of this time. And also stay tuned, because at the end, there's a special offer for everybody who stays to the end of the webinar. And there's also going to be a live Q&A with me and Heather. So as we're going through this content, feel free to pop your questions in the chat. Heather's going to have her eyes in the chat, so she'll be collecting all your questions, and we'll get to those at the end of the presentation today. All right, so before we jump into all of the juicy goodness we have for you, I want to know where you're at with your website and which sounds like you. So maybe this is you. I've got website shame and I've got it bad. You're a pro, right? But your website isn't. You'd rather show somebody your high school yearbook photo than your website. It's totally cringy. I know for me, I don't know about you, Heather, but for me, I had braces and bangs in my high school yearbook photo and it was not cute. Okay, maybe this is you. So I don't have time to update my website and it takes forever. You know your site could be better, right? But with a million options out there, a million themes and fonts and plugins and whatever, you're just stuck chasing shiny objects and feeling really overwhelmed instead of taking action. Maybe this is you. You just don't have $5,000 to hire a website designer. You want to DIY your website, but you're not sure how to simplify the process and get it done easily without wanting to throw your laptop at the wall. And to be honest, you're a little intimidated by the whole tech side of things. You really, really wish that you finally had a site you're proud of, so you can turn referrals into clients with ease and start booking out your calendar with dreamy clients who you're excited to shoot. So I want to know in the chat, let me and Heather know what's holding you back at the moment. Is it website shame? Is it tech overwhelm? Is it budget? What's going on for you? Pop in the chat and let us know. Heather, do you want to share one of yours with us?
Yes, I have so many. I've had so many iterations of my website over the years. Some time when I first started my photography business, I did a custom built website, which never really fit me properly. It never quite looked the way I wanted. It was hard for me to update it. And then actually my biggest year of marketing, I failed. It failed me in my contact form was broken for 4 months.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So you were having some of the tech gremlins.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just horrible. So I actually DIY'd my next version because my designer was slow to respond. And so, yeah, I actually spent the entire fall, which is our busiest time of year, rebuilding my website. And what that did though was exactly what you're teaching today. Is I made it very simple and it converted very well. The second website I did, I just was like, what do I, by then I knew what I did and things you're going to get into today. So yeah, that website, because of the tech overwhelm, the one I redid was great because the contact form and everything, I was really me. And people were sending me epic novels asking me to shoot their wedding, which is exactly what you're teaching today, which is exciting.
I mean, I also want to share, I'll chime in here and say that even as a website designer myself, I've I've been held back by website shame. Like I've been at conferences and somebody says, do you have a business card? And I say, yeah, oh, but don't look at my website. It's not done yet. It's not perfect yet. Do we have anyone, Heather, what are people saying in the chat?
Yeah, Kira is always struggling. She's struggling really with tech overwhelm. I know she's building a new website right now. And then Nithi is saying the same thing. She's very close to going live with her website and she wants to know when it's good enough.
Okay, I love that. We're going to get into some of that today. So let's keep going. So here's what you're going to learn today in this workshop. We're going to cover how creativity can kill sales on your website and what to do instead. This will be perfect for you if you're wondering when your site's going to be good enough. We're also going to talk about the 4 best tech tools to really show off your work and help you book clients through your website, all while keeping it really simple. We'll go through a 1-sentence hack to help you plan your website from start to finish in 10 minutes or less so that you can reverse engineer sales on your site. And we'll go through a step-by-step blueprint for creating a homepage that turns referrals into clients. So before we dig into all of that, I want to give you the SparkNotes version of how I got here and how I learned all of this, just to help you understand like why I'm qualified to even teach this to you. So 3 years ago, I was working a 9-to-5 job in a windowless office, and it was really sort of like hurting my soul. So I quit, I bought a one-way plane ticket, and I decided to spend 4 months traveling solo around the world. And I started a travel blog. I had no clue whatsoever how to build a site. I'd never designed anything. I'd never coded anything, nothing. I was a total newbie. And I started devouring coding and design and online marketing classes like a full-on Netflix binge. And maybe you can relate. I struggled with a lot of beginner website things. Like I struggled with designing my site so that it would appeal to visitors. I didn't know which pages I needed. I didn't know how to create content or what to put where or how to make it all flow together. It was kind of messy and not a good artistic mess like in the picture, but like a really hot mess. I also struggled with website envy, right? Maybe you've had this. I looked at everyone else's sites and I felt super jealous of how polished and professional they looked. My site looked like a toddler built it. And there's me, and there's an actual toddler, in case you needed a visual on that. I also struggled a lot with learning how to set up my site for marketing and sales. So even the quote unquote easy tech tools weren't that intuitive. And without the right guidance, I turned into a total grumpy tech gremlin under a blanket, pulling an all-nighter, trying to set up my site just like this. So after months and months of trial and error, I finally got it. Fast forward, and I realized that I didn't want to be a travel blogger at all. I loved traveling, but kind of hated blogging. And I realized I loved web design. So I switched my focus from being a travel blogger to being a web designer. Using all the strategies I learned about how to create a beautiful, simple site that sells, I put up my website and new leads started inquiring through my site every single week. My email list filled up with people who were really excited to hear from me, and not only hear from me, but buy from me and refer me and share my posts and my promos. I was able to raise my rates. I went from charging $500 for my very first website to now charging $5,000 plus for my projects. And I was able to raise my rates that much and close consult calls with ease because my site looks really professional and people trust me without ever having met me, which is a really amazing thing when strangers on the internet say, I'd love to work with you. Like, how can we get started? Here's my money, just because your website looks professional. And most of all, my website has given me so much confidence in what I do and how I present myself to the world. And today I'm consistently booked out with months of clients in advance, and not just any old clients, but like really awesome, dreamy clients who I love. I'm calling the shots on when I work, where I work, and who I work with. And I'm helping other people grow their businesses through the power of tech and design. And that one's my favorite. So I want to introduce you guys to my photographer client, Laura. She's incredible. And she says that she never thought she'd be able to pay the rent doing what she loves, but she can. She wrote to me and said, I'm so happy and I love working on my own time. I had 30 shoots this month. 30. How did that happen? My new website is what happened. And this is what lights me up. These words from Laura are why I do what I do. It's amazing. So I want you to take a sec to imagine what it'll feel like for you when you get ideal clients inquiring through your website. When you have people who trust you instantly and you don't have any more awkward or salesy consult calls. And when you have people saying things like, how soon can we get started? Instead of, let me think about it. Or like, so-and-so does it cheaper. Why should I hire you? Right? How good would that feel? So let me know in the chat. I want to know from you how it would feel. What's the biggest thing you'd get out of having a website that's set up to sell your services properly? And Heather, I'm going to keep going, but if you want to chime in with any responses, we can totally do that.
Yeah, I'll just give people a minute to chime into the chat, but there is no better feeling than getting those epic novels on the contact form for my website.
Yeah,
it feels amazing.
I really want to work with you. How do we make this happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels great. And then to me, it's like, it's yours to lose.
Mm-hmm. So where do we start with all of this, right? How do you actually create a website like this? Well, the first step is understanding how creativity can kill sales on your site and what to do instead. Especially as creative people, this one's really important for us. So first up is that overly creative design is confusing. I want you to think of your website like a house, right? Visitors have certain expectations of what they're going to find in each room and how things will work. For example, in your house, you probably expect in the kitchen to find a dishwasher and a sink and an oven. You're not expecting to find a toilet. So when there's a toilet in the kitchen, it's really jarring and disorienting and weird, right? Like, let's not put any toilets in the kitchens in your website. And there's a lot of research to show that visitors strongly prefer website designs that look both simple and familiar. And this is good news for you because it means you can keep it simple and you can use design that people have seen before. You don't have to reinvent the creative wheel because people actually prefer things that are simple and familiar. Next is that overly creative design can lead to decision fatigue. So decision fatigue basically means that the more choices you have to make, the worse you get at making those choices. So if I asked you, would you like a sandwich right now? You could tell me yes or no. But if I asked you, would you like a turkey sandwich? Would you like a chicken sandwich? Would you like a veggie sandwich? Would you like a hummus? Suddenly your power to make those decisions gets worse. And as Marie Forleo says, I just love this quote. She says, a confused mind always says no. So if you confuse your website visitors and overwhelm them, they'll say no before they buy from you. And that's a shame because they really deserve the gift that you can give them through your work. Next is that overly creative design can look super unprofessional. It's frankly hard to pull off ultra creative web design. And even some of the good designers out there I know keep it simple on purpose. And if you can't pull off really creative design, you're going to end up looking unprofessional. And we just don't buy from people that we don't trust. So Social Triggers has done some research to show that 94% of people cited design problems as the reason they didn't trust a website. So if you've got design problems going on with your site, you're actually undermining the trust your visitors have in you and undermining your chance to make sales with them. So here are some general don'ts. This is a really exaggerated example here, but I hope that it helps you see the point. So don't get too creative with your layouts. Don't give visitors too many options. Like, look at how many things we could click on here. It's so overwhelming. Don't use clever language. So instead of saying something like, send me an owl, you're going to want to say something like, contact me. And that is a real example. I've actually seen that on the internet. And then also don't pick too many colors and fonts. Like in this example, we've got so many colors and fonts going on. Everything's competing with itself. We don't know where to look. We don't know what to click on. And this site does not feel trustworthy. Would you feel comfortable giving this site your credit card information? Because I definitely wouldn't. So here are some do's. Do use familiar layouts. This is Gabby Bernstein's homepage. She's a coach and she's using a layout that you've seen a lot, right? She's got a full width image with some text and a button and then 3 boxes. And this is a layout you'll see over and over again. And the reason you see it over and over again is that it's familiar, it works, people know what to do with this. So do use familiar layouts. Next is give people limited choices. Gabby's been in business for like 15 years now, and you'll notice that she has not thrown everything at us. She's limited our options to 3 simple things that we can click on. Next is use clear, direct language. So going back to that example of the contact form, right? You're going to want to call it a contact form or say, contact me, instead of something like send me a pigeon, send me an owl, something confusing. Keep it clear and direct. The next thing that Gabby's done here that I love is she's picked one accent color. She's got this hot pink throughout her website, and she's using her photos to tell a color story. So she's not throwing a lot of color at us, right? She's using her images really beautifully and then accenting it with this hot pink. And the next thing is, instead of picking a million different fonts, narrow it down and pick just 1 or 2. Here, Gabby has a special font for her logo. She's got one font for her big header, and then she's got kind of like a regular font for the rest of her text. It's really simple and it's really cohesive. The takeaway that I want you to get from this is that when it comes to your website, simplicity sells. Even though you're a creative person, your website doesn't need to be this huge creative work of art. And in fact, it shouldn't be, right? Because as we've seen, creativity can really kill sales on your website, and keeping it simple is where it's at. So I want you to tell me in the chat, who's excited by the fact that your website is allowed to be simple?
I'll have to say too, Cami, that simplicity for me is like, I need a grandmother to be able to place an 8x10 order very easily on my website. So everything you've just talked about is exactly what she would expect. So it's not just a millennial that's going to come to your website. It's also, parents of a bride and groom or a grandparent. And I find the simpler website is definitely what converts for me.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. That's such a good point. And do we have any answers in the chat, Heather?
Not yet, but amen to simple. And then Kira is definitely like loving this content. She says that it would be so feel validating that the time was worth it. Yeah. And and then also we're getting comments that everything's just really relieving, that it's allowed to be so simple.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, I feel that way too, right? Like even as a designer, I felt like my site has to be like this perfect work of art because I'm a designer, but it really, really doesn't. And in fact, it works better if it doesn't.
Yeah, and I've actually had that messed up my sales and my income because I picked a theme that was too complicated and too flashy.
Yeah, well, I love that segue, Heather, because we are about to get into talking about the 4 best tech tools to help you show off your photography and book clients through your site, all while keeping it simple and avoiding getting caught up in flashy, overcomplicated things like you just mentioned.
Okay, they're saying that we just lost us, so let me give everybody a chance to refresh.
Okay. I'm going to take a sip of water here.
But I think we might be back.
All right. Can everybody see and hear me okay?
Oh, good. There's Nithi. Yep. Okay, we're back. Yep.
All right. Awesome. So we're going to get into the 4 best tech tools to show off your work and book clients through your website while keeping it really, really simple, right? Simple is the name of the game here. So when you're selling photography services and when you're booking clients, you need more than just a website. You actually need a suite of tech tools that are going to help you book those clients, get paid, and stay in touch, preferably without making your life a living tech hell in the process. Can I get an amen? So here are my mottos when it comes to tech. The best tech tools are the ones you are actually going to use. There's no point investing in the most complicated software out there if you're never going to use it because it takes you years to learn. And the best tech tools are beginner friendly and empire equipped. This one is from my mentor, Mariah Koz. And what this means is that the best tech tools are ones that are simple and easy to get started with, that even a beginner can use, but are able to scale up with you and your business as you grow. So here's my personal tech stack. Here's what I use to book clients through my website. I use Squarespace. I use Acuity Scheduling to book consult calls. I use Zoom to host the calls, and I use Stripe to get paid. And Squarespace is $18 a month, and then Acuity Scheduling is actually free with Squarespace through the end of June, and it's normally $15 a month. So this is a really simple, really affordable tech stack. So here's how all the moving bits fit together. A prospective client visits my Squarespace website. Most often it's through a referral. Then they'll check out my work, check out my services, and book a call with Acuity Scheduling directly on my site. Then I will host the call with them on Zoom, just them and me over video, kind of like we're doing now, just minus the slides. And then they'll pay a deposit with their credit card if we want to work together. And Stripe will automatically deposit the money into my bank account, and I have a new client, and everyone's happy and paid, and everything's good. So here are a few reasons why I love Squarespace. I actually started out life as a WordPress designer, and I learned all about how to custom code WordPress websites. And I did that for clients for years, and then switched to Squarespace for my own website after really having some challenges with WordPress and having more and more clients ask me for Squarespace. So I want to share with you a little bit about why I love Squarespace so much and why I think it's the perfect platform to run your service-based business, and particularly for photographers. So Squarespace has beautiful templates, and their templates really come to life and really look custom and high-end when you have great photographs. And as a photographer, you have a huge unfair advantage here. You already have a whole arsenal of great photographs to pick from. You don't have to go investing thousands of dollars in a special photo shoot to make it happen. You just have those tools and those resources at your disposal. Squarespace also has a really simple but powerful drag and drop page builder that makes it very quick and easy. And it's got built-in gallery tools. So you don't have to hunt for gallery plugins or figure out what's the best or what's not. It's all just right there for you. And then there are 0 minutes spent dealing with tech maintenance or finding plugins, because Squarespace headquarters takes care of all of those tech details, and there are no plugins with Squarespace. It just comes with everything you need, which is such a huge time saver. And then a thing I love about Squarespace, you might have heard in Facebook groups, people being like, oh, Squarespace is so limiting, it's not good, blah, blah, blah. From my perspective, the fact that Squarespace doesn't have unlimited options is a really good thing. Remember the decision fatigue that we talked about earlier, where the more choices you have to make, the less good you get at making choices? Well, with Squarespace, they've just engineered this really beautiful all-in-one solution that comes with everything you need and none of what you don't need, and you don't have to make a million choices around your theme or your plugin or your hosting or your security or any of that stuff, so that you have more mental space to do the work you love, to market your business, to serve your clients, to show up in the way you most want to show up, and less time just stressing about your website. Heather, I know that you've also had some website stresses in the past, right?
Oh my gosh, so much procrastinating branding. Yes, definitely. I bought a very expensive WordPress theme, and it actually tanked my business. It did not convert at all. And it was really, I did it so that I could be mobile friendly. My old website wasn't as mobile friendly, and I really wish I'd stuck with my old website. But WordPress I've been using for so long, but I really, if I had it to do all over, I would absolutely go with Squarespace for sure.
Yeah, and I love that point about being mobile friendly. That's another thing that I forgot to mention that I love about Squarespace, is their templates are mobile friendly right out of the box, and you can tweak and adjust things to get it just right, but they come 90% of the way there, which is so, so great.
Yeah, and maintaining my WordPress website is definitely a nightmare.
And it's
I spend a lot
expensive.
of time updating plugins and making sure I'm on the right web host, and just, it's, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Squarespace is you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's just one simple flat monthly fee, 18 bucks a month, and it's all in, all taken care of. It's so, so easy.
Mm.
So I want to know from you guys in the chat, how do you feel about your tech tools? Do you love your tech tools? Do you hate them? Do you wish you could Dracaris your tech tools and torch them with Dragonfire? Let us know in the chat. We're going to keep moving, but Heather, as people chime in, feel free to let me know.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, guys. So now you know about the simple tech tools that I use to run my service-based business and what I recommend. I want to take it back a step and talk about a one-sentence hack that'll help you plan your website from start to finish in 10 minutes or less. And this is so important. Planning your site ahead of time is one of the biggest parts of creating a site that sells your services. And it's the one thing that nearly everyone skips. So the way people usually do things is you sign up for a service like Squarespace, and then you try to learn a new tech tool, build your page layouts, create your content, launch your site, make everything work all at the same time. And it's kind of messy. And you haven't actually taken the time to reverse engineer your website for sales. So I'm going to teach you a really dead simple framework that I use for myself and my clients to help reverse engineer that sale, plan a website ahead of time, and get those big results. So you might want to screenshot this slide. Here's the formula. I want you to fill in these blanks. I offer blank, blank, and blank, and I want people to hire me by doing blank. So think about how that shakes out for you for a second. Here's an example from one of my clients. So I offer family portrait sessions, newborn sessions, and mini sessions. I want people to hire me by visiting my website and booking a call. Right? So do you have a screenshot of that? Because I'm going to show you how this all ties together in just a second. Now you've got that sentence mapped out. It's time to take that info and reverse engineer your site for sales. So we're going to use that one simple sentence to set your site's main goal, get clear on the functionality you need, map out all of your pages, and figure out how you're going to guide your visitors to action and reverse engineer those sales. Here's how it works. Let's set your main goal first. So the question I want you to ask yourself is, what's the most important action a visitor can take on my website? And using the sentence that we came up with in the example, the most important action is to book a call, right? We said, I want people to hire me by visiting my website and booking a call. Therefore, the most important thing they can do on your site is to book a call, because that's how you get hired. So next, we're going to get clear on the functionality. We know the main goal. So now, what does your site actually need to do to help you achieve that goal? Well, it's pretty simple, right? For starters, your website needs to exist in the first place. It needs to be live online where people can find it. And if you want people booking calls, it needs to integrate with a scheduling software like Acuity. And again, this comes back to that piece of things of, how do you want people hiring you? What's the main action you want them to take? And then what does your site need to do to support that? Now that you know your main goal and your functionality, it's time to plan out your website's pages and content. So based on that sentence that you came up with, have a think about, what do your visitors need to see and read on your website to help them take that action? So if you want your visitors to book a call with you, they probably need to know where to get started in the first place. They're going to come to your website somehow, and they need to know where to go. Then they also need to know who you are, and they need to know what you offer, like what can they hire you for? They probably need to know why you're qualified, and they definitely need to know how to get in touch if you'd like them booking that call. And so you can then map that one-to-one onto your pages. So where to get started becomes your homepage. This is usually the first page people see when they land on your site. Who you are is the about page. That's where you share your bio and your story as it relates to your products and services. What you offer is your services page. This is where you outline the different packages you offer. You talk about your portrait sessions and your newborn sessions and your mini sessions. why you're qualified. This is examples of your work. So this is your portfolio. And it's also testimonials. And I like to sprinkle testimonials on every single page of a website so that no matter where somebody lands, they're seeing that social proof. They're seeing why you're so awesome. And then how to get in touch maps to your contact page. And we're calling it contact and keeping it nice and simple. So do you see how that comes together and how suddenly planning your site becomes really, really simple?
I love that. I love the simplicity of that.
And not only does it help you plan your pages, but it also helps you plan your content, right? Because once you know which pages you have, you can think about, okay, well, what kind of content do I need on my contact page? Well, I'm going to need a sentence telling people how to get in touch with me. And then I'm going to need a way for them to get in touch with me. And so these things that could be really intimidating start to become very, very doable. All right, so the last piece of this puzzle, guys, is guiding your visitors to action. This is all about thinking through how you're going to get your visitors from point A to point B, how you're going to reverse engineer the outcomes you want. So if what you most want is for people to come to your site and book a call, you can brainstorm journeys that they might take through your site. So for example, they might land on your homepage first. Then they might go check out your work on your services page. And then they might book a call with you to find out more about working together. So by mapping out these journeys ahead of time, you can really think through the steps that your visitor needs to take to get to that end action with you, and you can start reverse engineering it and making it happen. So congratulations, woohoo, you did it. You just planned your entire website in just a few minutes. And so to recap, we used that one simple sentence of, I offer blank, blank, and blank, and I want people to hire me by coming to my website and doing blank. We use that sentence to set the main goal of your site, which is to book a call. We used it to figure out what functionality your site needs, and that's a site that exists in the first place and also a scheduling software so that people can book that call. We use that sentence to figure out which pages you're going to need, your homepage, about page, services, portfolio, contact, and then testimonials that you can sprinkle everywhere. And we use that sentence to come up with a game plan for how you're going to get your visitors from point A to point B. And we mapped out a customer journey together of people coming to your homepage, then going to your services page, and then booking a call with you. So I want to know from you in the chat, who feels like this is all coming together? Do you feel like this is getting easier?
Oh my gosh, I personally love everything. I've been, especially because I have so much content on my blog that I usually used to try to shove it all over my website. And now with your blueprint here, just really all I need are testimonials everywhere, and that's it.
Testimonials are so powerful. Oh my gosh, I love them.
And as a pricing coach, I'll just say, if people have that social proof of testimonials, that's how they'll book you without ever wanting to know about price. So usually when a client fills out a form for us photographers, their first question is, what are your prices? So if you have testimonials all over the website and it's set up for referrals, then you'll stop getting that question.
Totally. I think testimonials are like a form of digital referrals, right? It's, somebody has maybe said, hey, go check out Heather. She's an amazing photographer. And then they land on your website, they see those testimonials, and it's like extra little referrals from all of your past clients.
Yes. And so Dave actually asks if I would share pricing. So yeah, I actually have that. I'll just answer this one and you can tell me what you think, Cami. But for me, I have on my wedding portfolio page, I do at the very bottom have a spot where it says what my basic packages begin at and also what my average client spends. So I like to set expectations, but I don't like to have actual price lists.
Yeah, I mean, I've experimented with this personally in a million different directions. I've listed prices. I haven't listed prices. I've listed starting at prices. I've done it all. There's no one perfect solution. All of the things can work. And I know people who are running businesses using each of those tactics. And for me, what's worked best personally is listing starting at prices, because I just don't want people coming my way who aren't a good fit to work with me price-wise, but website projects often need to be custom quoted. So that starting at price is a nice balance.
Exactly. And I'm a big fan of that, and also the average price. And then we do have a couple other comments. I want to just fill you in really quick.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, they're definitely loving the content. They says this makes so much sense. Definitely not doing it yet, but and then Viv is excited that we're talking about Squarespace. She's a designer, actually a graphic designer. She loves how simple this plan is. And then Lori says, I want to start over and make it very simple now.
Yay! Oh, I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And then Nithi says, love the simplicity. Already thinking about everything I want to remove, which she hasn't launched her website yet. So that's actually great that she's here.
Awesome. I'm so happy that this is resonating with you. I'm just like over the moon. And this is really like, I've tested all of this out on both myself and my clients. So I'm giving you the good stuff, the stuff that I actually use. So with all of that said, I want to share with you a step-by-step blueprint for helping you create a homepage that turns your referrals into clients. So you can see how it actually comes together in a layout. So I want to know from you, where did your last client come from? Did they find you through a word of mouth referral? Did you meet them at an in-person event? Did they find you through social media? Was it maybe a Google search? Like, where did your last, actually, I'll amend this. Where did your last awesome client come from? Where did your last dream client come from? I can tell you that for me personally, my last 3 incredible clients came through word of mouth referrals. So if you're sitting there nodding your head, or you're typing into the chat right now as we speak, saying referral or in-person connection, I want you to know that you are in the best spot to make sales through your website. And the reason for that is that unlike cold traffic from Google or random people from social media who've never heard of you, people who've met you in person or who have a referral to you already kind of know and like and trust you. They're already warmed up. And they're already looking for the services you're offering, and they're really ready to buy. So they've actually said to somebody like, hey, who did your family photos? Who did your wedding photos? And your client has said, go check out Heather. She's amazing. And so by the time that person lands on your website, they are actively looking for what you sell and they want to hire you.
And they don't care about cost. I will add that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't usually shop around, so they don't really know what anyone else charges. So I love referrals because they come and they pay whatever I ask.
Exactly. And so this is why you might be wondering, like, if I'm getting all these great referrals, why does my website even matter? Here's why. It is so crucial that if you're getting amazing referrals, that your website is not asleep at the wheel, because this could make or break the whole sale. Your past client has already said, hey, this person's amazing, go check them out. Then your referral person will come to your website to check you out, already liking you, already really wanting to hire you. And at that point, it's your website that could make or break things. And if your website's asleep, you've lost that sale, right? It's really yours to lose at that point. So let's talk about how your homepage is going to turn those referrals into clients. The reason I'm focusing on the homepage here is because that's the page that most people will see first when they come to your website. So let's break down how you structure your homepage to make sure that your website is taking those referrals and really elegantly turning them into clients for you. So I want you to think about your homepage as being a first date. This is not the page where you say, here are all my prices, please book a call with me, please hire me, please marry me, right? Too much too soon. It's creepy, don't do it. This is the first date. This is where you introduce yourself, you show people a little bit about who you are and what you do and how you can help them, and then you invite them to take the next step with you by checking out your services, where they can then take that next step and book a call and put a ring on it. So you might want to screenshot this slide. You can take this layout and adapt it to your own website. I'm going to break it down for you really step by step here. So the first section of this layout is all about your logo and navigation. So that's what you see up at the top. And this works best when it's clear, direct, and simple, and there are less than 6 things in your main navigation. So any more than 6 items and your visitors are going to get confused. So keep those links simple. Next, in this area up here, you want to showcase what you're known for. This is a great place to highlight the photography work that you most want to do. So if you most want to do newborn photography, this is where you'd put stunning photos of newborns. And it's also a great place to put your main idea or your elevator pitch, kind of like a 2-second soundbite that tells somebody really quickly who you are and what you do, and then give them an action to go check out your services page and take that next step. That way, if somebody only ever sees this section of your website, they come away with a decent understanding of your work and how to get started. So here's an example of a website that uses text to do this. This is Chican Coterie, and they're a VA agency. So they say, scale your business and finally become the CEO you're meant to be with our expert business management team. Click here to see how we can help. Quick, simple, to the point. You know exactly what they do and how to take that next step with them. Then here's an example of a photographer who's doing this without text. I totally understand if you don't want to layer text over your beautiful images. So here, this photographer has decided to highlight her newborn photography and leads with this gorgeous image that is just going to capture the heartstrings of any new mums coming to her website to hire her for newborn portraiture. Okay, so after you have that intro section, the next section here is the summary of your main offerings. So this is not everything that you've ever sold ever. It's not everything that you're going to sell ever. It's a very, very short summary of your 3 main offers. If you don't have 3 offers, you can totally list just 1. You can have 2. I would keep it to 3 maximum here though. And then you want to give an action step. So give people a button where they can click to learn more about those offers and then hire you. So here's an example from my client, Laura, who's doing this. And she leads off with some intro text saying, "Hi, I'm Laura, a family portrait and newborn photographer based in League City, Texas." Really clear, really to the point. And it lets you know where she's based, which is awesome. And then she's got her 3 offerings. She's got her newborn sessions, her family portraits, and then her children and toddler sessions. And it's very clear which one of these you should pick if you're interested in newborns or families, and you've got the next steps listed out. It's nice and easy. So the next section, after you've introduced your offerings, is you're going to want to introduce yourself. People need to know who you are. So this is where you'll feature a well-lit photo of yourself. No more hiding behind your portfolios, photographers. You need to have a picture of yourself on here because you'll be working with people and their families and their most intimate moments, like their weddings, really closely, right? We need to see your face. Then you're going to have a short bio of you, just to give people like a highlight reel of who you are and how you can help them, and then a button where they can learn more and take that next step with you. Again, we're thinking first date here. So here's an example from my client, Melanie. This is her little mini bio. So we've got a really inviting picture of her and her daughters, and then a really short, sweet bio. When I say this gets to be short, it gets to be really short. It can be just a couple of sentences, but it's warm and it's inviting and it does the job. So after you've introduced yourself and said, how great you are and really warmed people up, you want to back it up with some social proof. So here is where you're going to want to include a glowing testimonial. And the best testimonials are short, sweet, and results oriented. People on your website are not going to read paragraphs and paragraphs of text, no matter how good the review is. And also, you might have seen a lot of testimonials around the web of people being like, "Heather was so sweet. She was so fun to work with. It was a joy." And that's really nice. And those do have their place, but they're not as powerful as testimonials that show a transformation or some kind of result.
Cami, can I tell you my favorite testimonial I have on my website really quickly?
Oh my gosh.
It's literally my favorite thing ever because it makes me cry and it makes everyone cry. But one of my clients who has multiple children now sent me a note after a few years and said that their wedding album is their kid's favorite bedtime story.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
So that is literally all over my website because it's adorable.
I love that. And I think that's such a great point. Like, testimonials can be results and data driven, or they can be really emotional and feelings driven. And especially when you're working with clients and producing these beautiful artworks for them, your products aren't solving a direct problem. No one's lying in bed at night thinking like, "Ah, shoot, like I'm not going to be able to pay my rent because I don't have a wedding album, but they do really want the way that wedding album is going to make them feel. And that idea that Heather just captured of the wedding album is the kid's favorite bedtime story. Like, that's such a beautiful emotion. And everybody wants to feel that way if they're looking to hire somebody to make a wedding album for them. Okay, so we've covered testimonials. The next thing, the last ingredient on your homepage, is you're going to want somewhere for people to join your email list. So not every lead is going to be ready to book a call with you right away, even roasty, toasty, warm referral leads. So you want to give them an option to stay in touch with you in a way that's a little lower stakes. And this is where your email list comes in. It's much less pressure than booking a call with you, but it allows you to capture their details and continue to nurture that relationship. And so your email list can be as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. Here's an example of a very, very simple email sign up from Ellen Company. And it's just simply a headline with an email form. It can be really easy. So there you have it. Simple step-by-step blueprint for a homepage that helps you turn referrals into clients by taking them on that first date with you, by showing them exactly what they need to know to understand who you are and what you do and why you're awesome and how to take that next step with you. So to recap really quickly, the main sections here, we have the intro section that features your big idea or the work you most want to be known for. We have a section that summarizes your main offerings. We've got a little section with a mini bio of you. We're featuring some awesome social proof. And then we're giving people a way to stay in touch in case they're not ready to go to your services page and book a call just yet. So I want to know from you in the chat, who feels like it's all coming together? Was that blueprint and was that breakdown helpful for you? Let me know.
Oh my gosh, I'll just chime in and say that the chat is on fire and everything that they're asking is stuff you're talking about right at the same time. So I have a couple things for the Q&A, just that maybe we can talk out a little bit more, but everyone is really, really loving this.
Perfect. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, Nithi says it's super helpful. Yep.
I'm so, so happy to hear that.
And Vivian, who is a graphic designer, she says super duper helpful.
I mean, Vivian, I feel you. I think as designers, and this goes for photographers too, as creative people, we often get in our own way a lot, thinking that, you know, it's like a cobbler no shoes situation. I can't tell you how many web designers I know who have beautiful websites for their clients, but terrible websites for themselves. You know, it's really difficult to do for yourself what you can do well for others. So Vivian, if you're struggling as a graphic designer with your website, know that you are not alone.
Yeah, she's building another website for, she's a photographer too now. So she's
cool.
building a new website for that. So I think that's why she's here and is loving this content.
Oh, well, that's so awesome. So let's do a little recap of what you've learned today. So we've talked all about how creativity can kill sales on your website and what to do instead. And hopefully this has helped bust you out of some of that perfection paralysis that we as creatives feel and given you permission to keep it simple. Next is we talked about the 4 best tech tools to show off your work and book clients through your site. Again, all while keeping it simple. And we talked a lot about why Squarespace is a great platform to do this. We also chatted through a 1-sentence hack to help you plan your website from start to finish in 10 minutes or less. So that really simple sentence of, I offer blank, blank, and blank, and I want people to hire me by doing blank. And you saw how you can break that down to really plan exactly which pages your website needs, what kind of content you'll need, and figure out how you're going to reverse engineer your sales. And then we chatted through a simple step-by-step blueprint for a homepage that turns referrals into clients so that you can start taking those leads on a journey through your homepage and booking referral clients with ease. So you're here today for a few reasons. You're here because you're ready to finally end the disconnect between who you are and what you look like online. You're amazing at what you do. I know you are. And I know that you want your website to be as amazing as you are too. You're also ready to make a fresh start and get your website done quickly and easily. Maybe you've tried before, or you're in the middle of a design project, and after all the hours you've put into your website, you still don't have something you're happy with. And it's time to change that. It's time to get it done quickly and easily. You also want a money-making website, a website that does the selling for you 24 hours a day so that you can book clients with ease and free up your brain space to do more of the work you truly love, more of the photography work you truly love, more of the graphic design work you truly love. You know, nobody here, myself included, none of us want a website because we want a pile of code and pixels. We want a website because we want to book clients with ease and we want the freedom that that creates. So I want you to know that now is your time. You truly deserve a website that does the selling for you and helps you close those referral clients easily so that you can have the freedom that you started your business to create in the first place. You did not start your business to be chained to tech customer support. Am I right? You also deserve a website that gives you the confidence to raise your rates and attract clients who are excited to hire you and pay those new rates. You know, attract clients who aren't going to haggle or quibble or undercut you, just people who are so stoked to work with you. You deserve to feel the joy of new leads landing in your inbox each week. And the joy of feeling like booked out isn't a dream, it's your new reality. You deserve to finally create and launch a gorgeous website that sells your photography services without spending 5 figures on a designer or wasting months on DIY. I want you to remember that nothing that I've shared with you today is just theory or nice ideas. These are actually all things that I've done personally with myself first as a guinea pig, and then with my one-on-one clients, and now with my students. So it's things that have been tested that actually get real results. I also want you to remember that I'm not a tech unicorn. I didn't go to college for this. I was actually an art history major, which is about as non-technical as you can get. And I didn't have access to any special tools that you don't have. I showed you exactly what I use. I use Squarespace, I use Acuity, I use Zoom. It's all really simple tools that you have access to as well. And so I promise you that if I can do this, so can you. I want to introduce you to, and I want to invite you to my course, which is Simple Site Blueprint. This is how it all comes together and how the magic happens. So Simple Site Blueprint is a 7-step system to help you plan, create, and launch your gorgeous website without spending 5 figures or wasting months on DIY. So here's nitty-gritty what's included. Simple Site Blueprint includes 7 step-by-step modules, video and audio trainings, high-converting layout templates like the homepage template that we went through today, except for every page of your site. It has checklists and it has workbooks, and you get a ton of personal support from me. So by the end of Simple Site Blueprint, you're going to have created and launched a beautiful website that helps you book clients and sell your services with ease. And you'll do it in a way that's quick and simple and doesn't feel like such a struggle. So let me know in the chat if you're excited to hear more about what's included, because I'm going to take a sip of water before we dive into the breakdown of each module.
Man, this just really makes it so much easier, the way that you present information, the way you simplify it, and the way you give permission. I love it.
Thank you, Heather. Okay, awesome. I'm going to keep going here.
Mm-hmm.
So in Simple Site Blueprint, like I said, it's a 7-step system designed to make things really easy for you. So module 1 is all about real simple tech. You're going to learn all the tech tools you need to create your money-making website, and you're going to learn how they all fit together so you can stop wasting hours researching and asking questions in Facebook groups and just make it happen already. In module 2, you'll learn how to plan your website. So we got a little taste of that today with the planning your website content, but I'm going to break it down even more for you, go even more in depth, and teach you my exact 3-step website planning system and give you templates so that you can lay a really strong strategic foundation for your site and reverse engineer those sales. In Module 3, you're going to design your page layouts, and you are going to learn all about how to design page layouts for yourself. And I'm also going to give you my high converting layout templates so that you can just swipe them and implement them really easily. So you'll have all the knowledge you need to adapt the templates to your unique business and your unique situation, but you'll also have just ready-made templates for you that you can run with. Module 4 is one of my favorites, and this is all about images. So I mentioned earlier that as photographers, you guys have a total unfair advantage because you already have amazing images. Well, in Module 4, you're going to learn all about how to optimize those images for the web so you don't have a site that's insanely slow. And you're going to learn how to curate your images so that you're showing the best of your work. And you're going to learn how to plan a drool-worthy personal brand photo shoot for either yourself or your clients. And I actually have a photographer student in my course right now who's starting to offer personal brand photography as a service because of all the things she learned in this module. Most photographers don't understand how images work in a website layout and what you need for a personal brand photo shoot that's going to live on a site. And I break that all down for you in this module. And so I just love that one of my students is actually taking this knowledge and using it to create a new package. All right, Module 5 is all about building your site. We've laid the foundation, we've gotten strategic, we've reverse engineered those sales, we've done your photos, and now it's time to build your site. And you're gonna get it done super quickly and easily with step-by-step video tutorials from me that breaks it all down. In Module 6, you'll learn how to style your site. So you're going to learn how to tweak your fonts and your colors to make your site look professional for years to come. This is not about trendy design. This is not about overly creative design. This is about simple, beautiful, timeless design that's going to make your site look great for years to come and won't age badly on the internet. And it's about keeping it simple so that your site can look beautiful while keeping you out of creative paralysis. How many of you have gone round and round for hours tweaking your colors or fiddling with your fonts? I know I have, and this module is all about getting you out of that and getting you to a site that's beautiful while keeping it easy. Then in Module 7, you're going to learn how to launch your site. So all of the little dotted I's and crossed T's that you need before your site actually goes live and you share it with the world. And of course, what would a course be without some awesome bonuses? So you get some great bonuses in Simple Site Blueprint. You're going to get a bonus all about email marketing. So you'll learn how to set up an email list. You'll learn how to create a high value email opt-in freebie. So this is something that you use to attract people and get their names and emails in exchange for this freebie. And you're going to learn how to watch your growth skyrocket. So this graph is from one of my clients who used the strategies that I teach on her own website, and she actually managed to add more than 1,000 new subscribers to her site after she launched the new version. So it's really good stuff. Then you're also going to get a bonus all about Acuity scheduling. So if you want to book consult calls on your site, I'm going to show you how to set up your scheduler, integrate it with your website, and make it really easy for your future clients to hire you. And Acuity is free with Squarespace until the end of June. And after that, it switches over to being $15 a month. So if you want that scheduling capability on your site, now is a really good time to get on it and make it happen. And then as a bonus, you're going to get high converting copy templates. So copy is like the biggest sticking point when it comes to a website, right? You might have all of the gorgeous images in the world, but what on earth do you say around those images? Don't worry, if you're not sure what to write, I have you covered. I've got fill in the blank copy templates, and I have step-by-step videos walking you through what you should include on your website and where and why. And then this is my favorite bonus. I love this one so much because it's really fun for both me and my students. And this is the personal support that you get from me. So you're going to get 3 group calls with me and everyone in the Simple Site Blueprint community where you can ask your questions, you can bring your work for review, you can really get things tailored to you and your business. And you're also going to get access to our private Facebook group where we cheer each other on and we get feedback and we ask questions and all this amazing stuff. So you can see my client Anna popped in here with some of her brand photos, asking for feedback, and everybody popped in to share their opinions. It was really, really supportive. supportive. So I want you to meet some of the Simple Site Blueprint students. I love my students and they're doing incredible work. So I want to introduce you to Elka. Elka has been struggling with her old website for 2 years, and she says, "Eek, Simple Site Blueprint is easy, simple, and sharp as a focused laser. I'm getting my website done in light speed, and I'd absolutely recommend it." And actually, a little update on Elka for you guys is that after struggling with her website for 2 years, she just launched her new website like last week, and she got it done so fast, and it looks amazing. Then I want you to meet Anna. Anna's a newer business owner, and she says that 4 weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought that I could make a decent site, but now I know if I keep doing the steps, I can. She has a plan, she knows how to execute it, and she can see that finish line, which I just love. And then here's my client, Ron. Ron's a photographer, and he says that he went from website shame to, man, I'm proud to send you there. And he's got the stats to back it up. So as a result of his site, he saw his email opt-ins increase by 43% and his website visits increase by 300%. Imagine what would be possible for you and your business if your website visits increased by 300%. And this wasn't through anything fancy. Ron didn't run any ads, didn't do anything like that. We just launched his new website, told the world about it, and he had these amazing results. And then here's my client, Laura. Laura's also a photographer, and she says that she got new clients through her site. So after launching, I had a photo shoot, and my new client said, "We knew we wanted you the minute we clicked on your site." And that is really what we're doing here. It's all about making it as simple and doable as possible for you while creating an end result that has your clients saying things like, "We knew we wanted you the minute we clicked on your site." Your website can be that powerful if you set it up properly. So I would love to invite you to join us in Simple Site Blueprint so that you can finally create and launch your gorgeous money-making website and book those referral clients with ease. So if you scroll just below this video, you can use one of those big pink buttons to enroll. And if you enroll before the end of this workshop, we've got an awesome fast action bonus for you. So if you join us before the end of the Q&A today, you're going to get a 20-minute one-on-one coaching call with Heather herself to nail down your offerings and pricing, which is so valuable. One-on-one time with a pricing coach. So let's chat investment. You're probably wondering, what does this cost? So to give you a little bit of context, hiring me as your website designer is going to cost you $5,000 or more. And I'm booked out for the next couple of months. And taking a college course in learning how to design and code a website will probably cost you at least $10,000. And trying to DIY it alone, slogging through months of YouTube tutorials, is going to take you at minimum 100 plus hours of your time. And what is your time worth to you, right? That's a lot of time. That's a lot of hours. The total value of everything that's included in Simple Site Blueprint, all of the training, all of the templates, all of the community, the personal support from me and the resources, it's all worth more than $3,000. But if you join us now, I have made a really special price just for Heather and just for her people. So if you join us now, you can get 100% off, 100% off. You can get it for free. You can join us now and save $100 on the main price of Simple Site Blueprint. So Simple Site Blueprint's normally $497. You can get it today for $397 or for 5 payments of $97. Usually the payment plan is 5 payments of $120, but again, you're getting that amazing discount. So you can get started today with just 1 payment of $97. So here's how enrolling works. If you scroll under this video, you'll see these big pink buttons that say join now. You can pick your payment plan and press the button to join now. You're going to get taken to the checkout cart where you can enter your details, you can pick a payment option, and you can complete your order. And this is a secure encrypted cart. And this also comes with a 7-day money back guarantee. So if you try it out and it's not the right fit for you, you can get a full refund within 7 days, no questions asked. I'm not going to make you jump through any hoops or prove anything to me. You can just have the refund. And then once you're in, you are in. You get immediate access to the course content. You're going to get an email telling you how to access the content. You can get started with the modules right away. You can join our Facebook group right away. And we have a group call tomorrow. So tomorrow, Thursday at 2:00 Eastern, we've got a group call. So if you get in today, you can come and be on the hour-long group call with all of us and start getting your website done, start asking your questions, and those calls are just amazing. So I would love for you to be there. So I really want to invite you and encourage you to join us. Don't miss your chance to save $100 on this. Simple Site Blueprint is not open for regular enrollment. You can't buy it anywhere on my website. You can't get it anywhere else except this workshop. And on this workshop, you get to save $100. So you can be like Laura, who was able to not only book new clients through her site, but she actually booked 30 photo shoots through her site, which is incredible. Or you can be like Ron, who boosted his opt-ins by 43% and took himself from being so ashamed about his website to proud to send people there. So I'd love to invite you to join us. Just scroll below this video, click one of those buttons, and I hope to see you in Simple Site Blueprint. And before we go over to Q&A, I want to remind you about the fast action bonus. So if you enroll before the end of this workshop, before the Q&A is done, you're going to get Simple Site Blueprint, all of the amazing bonuses, your invite to our group call tomorrow, and a one-on-one personal 20-minute coaching call with Heather to really nail down your offers and your pricing. So I hope you'll join us. I'm so excited about this, and I would love to see you in the program. All right, Heather, I am going to switch us over to some Q&A because I know you guys have questions. I can just feel the chat tingling. So I'm going to stop the slides now, and we will transition into those questions.
Yes, we do have a few really good questions. Dave wants to know how you feel. Well, you did address this in your slides, but I think it's worth talking about it a little bit more. He wants to know how you feel about mixing different types of photography on the same site. I mean, especially because his are they're a little different than just families, newborns, that kind of thing. He's doing weddings, seniors, commercial, editorial. And he wants to know if you think that a different website would be good for that.
I think, Dave, there are a couple different ways this can work. So the way I like to think about it is, what's the common denominator in your services? So you're offering photography to multiple different ideal clients, but the common denominator is you at the end of the day, right? People are coming for your expertise and to hire you. So if that's the case, if you really feel like that's true for your clients, then housing them all under one website is totally fine. And actually, in the layout design module of Simple Site Blueprint, I show you how to organize your site and how to use layout design to really funnel your different customer groups into where they most need to be. Now, let's say that your customer groups are really different and the common denominator in your services is also different. In that case, you might want to have two separate sites. So let's say, for example, I'll use an example of my copywriter friend. So my copywriter friend offers copywriting for small business owners like us, and she also offers copywriting for TV promos. But the common denominator in those services is her. So they live in the same website, and she's used layout design to really elegantly engineer that so people are getting to the right places, which is what I teach you how to do. Now, let's say that she was a copywriter for small business owners, but she also had a blog about renovating tiny homes. In that case, those two things are different enough that they need to live on separate websites, unless she decided to be a copywriter for people who are renovating tiny homes. Does that make sense, Dave? Does that help break it down?
It definitely helps me personally because I have travel hacking stuff and I also have coaching photographers. So for me, I definitely need two separate websites. Those are very different.
For sure.
Yeah, and then another follow-up question is, what about blogs? So with photographers, we blog a lot, especially wedding venues, things like that, like my weddings. Are they still relevant to photographers, do you think?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love this question because blogs are such a great way to not only share your expertise, share your contacts and connections in the industry, highlight what you're good at, but they can also act as like a second portfolio. So portfolios can get really overwhelming, right? We don't know what work to put in there. We don't know how to like curate the selection down, and it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick amongst your babies. So what I love to do and what I teach my students how to do is curate a really sort of like elegant, tight selection of work for your portfolio, and then set up a blog that can function as a second portfolio. So you can highlight, wedding venues that you're shooting at, or you can highlight a client project that you did recently that's maybe not making it into the main portfolio, but you want to blog about it anyway. And this is such a great way to keep your site fresh, keep it updated, keep new content coming. Google loves blogs. It gives you something to share on social, gives people a reason to come back to your site. It's just great for so many different reasons. And I teach you how to set up your blog and how to blog in Simple Site Blueprint. So that's one of the things that we cover. So if you're interested in learning how to use your blog, not as a hobby, but as an engine that can help drive your business, then definitely come join us in the course because we cover all of that.
Yes, and actually Kira had a follow-up question about that. She wants to make sure that the course is not just written for photographers, and I told her that yes, it's written for every business, basically.
Yeah, so Kira, the course is really specifically focused on service-based business owners. So we're not covering how to, sell your t-shirts, right? We're not covering e-commerce. We're covering a service-based business model, which includes graphic design, it includes photography, it includes web design, virtual assistants, project managers, all of that good stuff. So this workshop has been really specific to photographers because that's who Heather's amazing audience is for the most part. But the course really is about service-based business owners.
Okay, great. And then we have, Nithi had a great question. She wanted to know if you use the same testimonials on multiple pages, or is it better to strategically place the testimonials all over the site?
Ooh, I love that question. So I like to mix it up and also repeat things. I do both. So for example, that testimonial that you guys saw from my client, Laura, where it said that she booked 30 new clients through her website, that testimonial is all over my website because it's really powerful. It really speaks to the end result that my clients are coming to me to get. So I want to make sure that they see it. But I also want to make sure that they know that I've worked with more people than just Laura, and I've helped more people get results. So I mix in other testimonials as well, and I'll feature a few different testimonials on each page so that we've got that balance of showing people the info that they most need and also showing them a little diversity. And so that's something that we can chat through with you about how it applies to your specific situation. Like you can bring your testimonials to our group calls. You can pop them in the Facebook group, and we can really figure out in your layouts, like how are you going to adapt this so that it's just right for you? How are you going to hit that perfect mix? And that's where you can take the trainings in Simple Site Blueprint, bring them to the group calls, pop into the Facebook group, and we can adapt it and really find the solution that's right for you.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a great answer. We have another follow-up question, or a different actually question, but this is great. I think basically what you just said is probably the answer, but we as photographers, we want to make sure that our intellectual property is protected. So does Squarespace offer something where people can't steal the website images?
Heather, I don't know off the top of my head about that one. That's something to check out with Squarespace directly. That's kind of one of those like nitty gritty, detailed questions that I'm just not quite sure about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that's where I recommend as a coach, just watermark everything.
Yeah, that's a great solution.
Just to be safe. Because people will screenshot stuff anyway. So I have on my website, I do have right-clicking, blocking plugin on my WordPress, but yeah, they're going to take it anyway. So I just watermark everything.
I love that solution.
And then we have another question that just came in. How long do you have access to the Blueprint and the Facebook call support if we sign up today?
Awesome. Love that question. So you get access to Simple Site Blueprint for the lifetime duration of the course. So for as long as this course is alive and running for, and let me tell you, it's not going away anytime soon. It's only getting bigger and ramping up. So you get access for as long as you want. So you can go as quickly as you want, or you can take a little bit of time. I'm not micromanaging your schedule for you. It's really up to you to decide at what pace you want to go. And you get access to the Facebook group for the lifetime duration of the course as well. So that support isn't going anywhere. Now, the group calls happen. We've got one tomorrow, and then we've got one for the next few Thursdays. So the group calls are more time sensitive, but if you can't make it live, you can pre-submit questions. I show you how to do that. I've got a really simple form for you. You can pre-submit them. I will answer them live just like this, and then I'll tag you in the replay so that you can make sure you're getting your questions answered and getting that support that you need. And the other thing that I love so much about the course is that you're getting access to all future updates and trainings. So my first round of Simple Site Blueprint students came in and they had a round of group calls with me. And then I ran the program again, and they're getting access to all of those other group calls too. So it just keeps building and it just keeps going. So if you join today, you're getting that lifetime access, and you're getting access to all the future updates and future calls as well, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, so we had one more question came in. If you guys have questions, keep popping them in. One asked, and I feel like I know I could chime in some horror stories of my own for this question, but it says, would you recommend to list your phone number on your website?
Oh, that's a toughie. I personally would not, because I'm protective over my privacy and over my data. If you are going to list a phone number on your website, I would make it like a Google phone number that then directs to your phone rather than having it be your actual real phone number itself. Just because the internet can be a really weird place, right? Heather, do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, that's true. I definitely, my phone gets nonstop spam phone calls. So I actually changed my voicemail outgoing message to say, just email me, because I don't answer my phone. Because the problem's become so bad. But that being said, that the year that I told you that my contact form was broken on my website, that year, thank goodness, someone called me and told me that. They were like, hey, why didn't you answer my email? So I now have it. I have it so it's not a link. It's like, it doesn't, and the email, it's like info, and then I write like a parentheses at, and then the email, because I don't want bots to be able to get to it easily, and I have my phone number that way too.
Yeah, so actually this is one of the things that we talk about in the planning module of Simple Site Blueprint, is thinking through how you uniquely want to be contacted for your business, like thinking about where your boundaries are. Do you want your clients filling out a contact form instead of being able to book a call with you right away? Or do you want them to be able to book a call with you? Or do you want to give them your phone number? Like, how much access do you want them to have? This is your business, and you get to set the rules around that for yourself. So that's what the planning module is really about, thinking about not only how are you going to make sales through your site, but also how is it going to be a good fit for you? What suits you? What suits your personality? What suits your business? So some people are like, have all the contact information. Here's my phone number. Here's my birth certificate. Here's everything. Here's my mother's maiden name. And other people are like, no, please fill out this quite lengthy contact form before we start chatting, right? And how you set up those barriers to entry, or how you don't set them up, is completely up to you. And that's something that I'll help you figure out in the course of Simple Site Blueprint.
Oh, I love that. That's definitely how I manage my contact form as well. I actually recorded a little video and put it on my contact form of telling them how to fill out my contact form. Because again, like I said earlier in the program, or in the workshop, that people always just say, what are your prices? What are your prices? What are your prices? My thing is, they don't know any other question to ask. So I recorded a little video telling them what to ask me instead.
So smart. I love that. And actually, one of the great things about having Acuity on your site is that you can add a form to the scheduling software. So somebody can pick a time to book a call with you. They can pick the day, pick the time, and then it shows them some questions to answer first, and you can set all of those questions, which means that people are already like kind of committed by that point, and they're more likely to fill out your questionnaire. It happens all in one nice seamless go. They'll submit them, you get the questions, you get the booking. It's just great, and it's so easy. So if you're comfortable with having people book a call directly on your site, using Acuity and setting it up that way is such a great solution. And we go over all that in the Acuity bonus. So it's really dead simple for you.
One thing I love about Acuity, can I just add something else that I use now constantly because of it, is after I've talked to them, I have an automatic feedback form that gets sent to them, which I love that they automate a follow-up for me.
Yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff with Acuity.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that it comes free with Squarespace. That's awesome because I'm actually paying for it.
Yeah, so good. So do we have any other questions?
We had a photo specific question, which I answered. That is not really for the blueprint. Yeah. And then think that we've answered everything else, which is exciting. Everyone's loving the content.
Super exciting. Well, I just want to say a big, big thank you to you, Heather, for inviting me here, and to everybody watching this. Thank you so much, and I'm so happy it was helpful for you. And we're going to sign off shortly. So that fast action bonus will expire in just a couple of minutes. It's that one-on-one call with Heather. And then if you've got any questions, if there's anything we haven't answered in this replay, anything you want to know about, you can shoot me an email at hello@camifari.com, or shoot me a DM on Instagram @camifari, and we can keep the conversation going.
Love it. Thank you so much for putting all this content together for my group. I know that everyone's very excited about it.
It was my absolute pleasure. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming, and we'll let you go off into your afternoon. Talk soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.